So Californians have just experienced their fourth winter of drought, which marks 3 years that have been some of the most severe droughts in the past century. So the drought has really affected everyone across the state, especially since Governor Jerry Brown announced the mandatory water restrictions where residential use has been cut by 25%. One of the hardest hit areas has been agriculture, which uses about 80% of the water in the state. And one report by some researchers at UC Davis said that in 2014 alone, which is just 1 year of the drought, agriculture losses cost the state $2.2 billion and were responsible for over 17,000 farm worker jobs lost.
Well, the science has come a long way over the past decade, and we are now in a position to quantify how human influence may have played a role in a particular weather event by quantifying how human influence on climate may have affected the risk of that event occurring. It's a bit like when you're rolling a loaded dice and it comes up 6. And the dice has been loaded to come up 6. It might have come up 6 anyway, but obviously there's a sense in which the loading has helped it to come up 6. And that's what we're looking for in the science of event attribution. We're trying to quantify the loading of the weather dice.
We can use climate models to simulate the possible weather in the world we live in and count how often do we get a drought like this. To know how much the risk of this event has changed, we also need to know how likely the event would have been in a world without climate change. To do that, we will have to model the world without climate change. We do the same experiment again and simulate possible droughts in the world that might have been and count how often do we get a drought like this. Then we compare these two worlds, and the difference will tell us the influence that climate change had on this drought. In climateprediction.net, we have the unique possibility to run thousands of simulations because our volunteers run one simulation at a time, and added together we get a very large set of simulations that allows us to analyze the statistics. So without our volunteers, we would not be able to run experiments like this. So we need your help to answer the question whether and to what extent human-induced climate change has played a role in the California drought.